Hello, my name is Max Bombel. I'm going to show you how to create RESTful web services using NetBeans7 and Glassfish server. Okay, let's go. Just right click, new project, select Java Web and Web Application, click next, enter the name of your application, next, and be sure Glassfish server and Java EE6 are selected and click finish. Yeah. Now NetBeans generated our application with a simple hello world. We can test it right now. Just right click, run. Okay, it's working. Now we can go back to the project and add entity in our application. But before to do that, we need a data source for our application. To create a data source, just click on Service and right click in the Java DB and create database. Example, Auction DB, Auction App DB, Auction. Enter the name and the password. Great. Now our DB was generated with a string connection. Just here, the string connection of a DB. We can test it right now. Just connect. Okay, it's working. Now we can go back to the project and create the entity class for our application. Just right click, new entity class, enter the name of the entity, seller for example, and put the name of the package. Next, the persistence provider Eclipse links was selected. That is pretty good. And now we are going to select or create a new data source. And select the string connection just generated and finish. Great. Now the entity class was generated by NetBeans. We are going to add some properties. Example, the last name, first name, and email. And so be sure generate getter and setter was selected and click OK. Okay. Now the last name property was generated with getter and setter. Just do the same thing for the first name. Okay. And also the email. Okay, now we are all of the properties we need. Now we are going to add RESTful Web Services capacity in the application. Right click, new, and select RESTful Web Services from Entity class. Select the entity, click add, next. Okay. Now we need to specify the package for our resources. Something you should to know in NetBeans IDE 7, the JAX-B annotation can be added directly to the GPR entity class. This removes the need of converter classes. So also all the services are generated as AGB session facets. This reduces the number of generated services class and simplify the code. So we will no need the converter anymore. Let's select the package. Click finish. And click OK. OK. Now we are going to check the, the code generated by NetBeans. In the services, we have an abstract facade and also a specific implementation of abstract facade for seller. The specific implementation of facade for seller. Now you can modify the path to simplify. In the code, we have some method was generated. Example: create method, edit method, remove method, with some annotation: put, post, put, delete, and getter. And also we have an representation format for the seller who will be returned to the client. We have XML representation and JSON representation. Just save the apps. We can test right now. Just right click. Okay. Just resource. Seller. Just resource. Seller. And go. If you can see this, it means your web services your RESTful web services is working. Now we are going to create an client, an HTML client or some GSP client to consume the web services we have created. Just go back to NetBeans, right click, new, and select GSP pages from entity classes. Select the entity, next, and we need to specify the session beans package and the JSF classes package. Now we can send facade, presentation. We need to specify also the folder for the GSP page. UI. Next. And now, just to be sure, the library for JSF 2.0 was selected, and click Finish. Okay. Now we can test our web services with the client. Just right click and okay. We need to add some data in the database, and later we will invoke the web services to get the XML representation of sellers. Just add some sellers in the DB. Example. Okay. Okay. We created three sellers. This is the GSP or is this JSF representation of a seller, but we need to invoke the web services, RESTful web services, to get the XML representation of the seller. To do that, let's go back and click OK. This is working pretty well, pretty good. If you need a specific seller, just add the ID, example ID2, and get roasting. Okay, this is pretty good. Thank you so much.